My name is Parmananda Katira, and I am a community member from Bhutanese community, Bhutanese community, and also my involvement there was also as a community leader slash one. I helped them develop community organizations, Bhutanese community organization in Soda, and I was the board chair of that particular organization for almost since 2009 through last fall, so July 2018. Back home, when they were either in the refugee camp or Bhutan or any other places, there was nothing like the child protection services, right, CPS systems. And there was nothing like neglect or anything of a 5 or 6 year old would be taken care of, 2 or 3 years old at home alone. So those would not be counted as neglect or anything because that was needed as though in the villages. However, and other forms of abuses, I don't know. Either it was not made public because there was no reporting system and there was no data collection on sexual abuses with the families, with the family members and others. So we never knew about those things. Or the family or the community as a whole doesn't understand that is the case. The huts were all built one after the other with a thin wall of bamboo things, right? Bamboo, what do you call? Bamboo walls and thatched roof. And inside the family, there were 4 or 5 people. They would be sleeping either on the floor together or in a different bamboo bed. It was almost people would know what was going on and walking past. It was almost transparent kind of thing. And the sense of family, sense of care was everybody was taking care of everybody. So if you see a neighbor's kid there and say, no, don't do that, don't do this. And if they did not listen, physical punishment were very, very common. Even in the schools, physical punishment. Having that experience and having led that kind of life for almost 2 decades, or in some cases more than 2 decades, and coming here and suddenly a different kind of system where, yeah, you cannot even sleep in the same room. Kids, and if you have adult kids, brothers and sisters, you have to have all this privacy, and you're not able to sleep in the same room. Doesn't make sense to many, maybe. So through the access of these agencies, maybe you can get access to the community and explain to them what not only physical, all different kinds of abuses that can constitute child abuse. And it's a small tight-knit community, so if few families have already gone through CPS services, they might think that, okay, the families are separated or the kids have been taken away or any number of things. So if you introduce yourself as CPS worker, there might be chances that you may not even get a lot of truth in honesty in what they are talking about. But what the CPS workers or CPS as an agency can communicate with them in terms of awareness and education, that might be possible. Another thing that I would say is different is the role reversal. Because the kids speak English and they understand, they become the piece of like medium of communication in many of the families. Like a 6-year-old would be the medium of communication than any other because nobody else speaks English in the household. So if if somebody were getting access, they would be an interpreter, informal interpreter to the family. So that way, the power dynamics and everything is changed. Because it's always, there's a background information that we talked about whenever we start. Right now also when we're talking, you ask a direct question and start weaving with so many other information, That's one thing. They will be, even if you ask them information, they will be talking about how things and make that background before coming to a point. So it takes time. So you might have to take longer time to talk to and communicate with them. The community itself actually respects authority very, very much. So and also with the history that someone from the government, security personnel like police and soldiers, if they walk in, the first thing would be they'll be afraid of all those things. So there's hardly anything, nobody's going to oppose, and nobody's going to even disrespectfully talk about it. Another thing, usually in the families, we take off our shoes and walk in, and they will offer you tea, they will offer you so many things, and they may or may not understand whether you can or cannot accept even tea in the house. But if you want to get more information, it might be not from the first visit, you might have to make a couple of visits and maybe even accept tea as not a problem, if it is okay, or if you're a tea drinker or whatever.